That's Cody.
That's
I'm
me.
also
That's
I
me.
am both of us now. And welcome to Unarticulate podcast, where we don't talk about anything of substance,
hmm
and it's
Not
for
at
you
all.
to find out along the journey.
Oh,
Sometimes
I'm
it's
really,
happy,
really quiet.
sometimes it's sad.
Sometimes we're sad. What do you
We had
mean?
a, we had a very real podcast the
I
other
mean,
week.
it is
Not
what
that
it
it was
is.
sad, but it was like
You're right though.
it was important. Bless you.
It happened. It happened. All right. So, um, just to first of all, if you are both of us, are you Coderica or are you Erodi? Real question.
Ooh. Coderica sounds like a mountain range.
hmm
And
It'll be
what
the
road?
next Mac OS update title.
Code
Uh-huh.
Coderica.
Yeah.
And
Mac OS
like,
Coderica. Yeah.
and
Right
then
in between Big Sur and insert other place here.
because what are they on now? Because I had it when it was Sierra.
Big Sur.
Is it Big
Yeah, High
Sur?
Sierra is the last one. Yeah. Well, High Sierra is the last one that like slashed out some models of the MacBook.
Gotcha.
So like my 2012 model, not that I'm using that, but the 2012 model that I have, that one officially is done with High Sierra.
Okay.
But we're a Big Sur, so it's okay. All right, so uh I think Coderica is the way to go though.
Yeah, because if we're like a mountain range,
Well,
you know,
erodi sounds like erosion, and that just doesn't sound good.
it does sound like erosion or like a secret power. I'm gonna pull out Erodi.
Don't let Marvel know. They're gonna capitalize.
I think it's because I've been watching so much anime lately, on top of Marvel stuff.
Okay. Okay. I was
Now I'm
like, oh,
watching
that came too
Jujutsu.
deep with it.
Yeah, now I'm watching Jujutsu Kaisen, and it's about curses and cursed materials, and it's nuts.
I
Like
love that you're painting your nails while we're doing this. That's great.
I'm putting a
You're like
top coat on
multi-focused.
because I'm trying not to bite
I
him
would have never
anymore.
known.
Trying to be a better person. Um, oh, I have a correction. Hold on, let me just get this one done. I have a correction from last week. I have if you will, to our unarticulation. So
Oh,
we talked
you
about
have an
space.
articulation.
I have an articulation, yes.
Yes.
Um, so when I mentioned about space buns actually came in the early 20th century from Mexican female revolutionaries called soldaderas.
hmm
Um, but they also before that really closely originated to really closely um, were very similar to Native American hoppy. That women wore like squash blossom buns on either side of their head, and they were only worn by unmarried women. And then separating space buns from Afro puffs because they're totally different. So
Right.
Afro puffs are their own thing. So that's my articulation from last week with just a general update.
Okay. Well,
Yeah,
there it is.
there it is. There it is.
Okay. We back.
All right. Did you have any? What were we doing last time? Urban Dictionary words of the week.
Do I have any? Oh, well, I mean, I could totally do that right now. Yeah.
Girls who like carrots.
Urban. Is this gonna be? Are we gonna do urban? I don't want to say urban corner. What about fun word corner?
Do we need to have corners?
Sure.
Okay.
Well, June 1st. Well, today is June 1st for us. It'll be June 3rd, right, on Thursday.
Yes.
So the word of the day is hungry ghost, which is the two states of being are as a human being or a hungry ghost. Semi regularly, you need to ask yourself what you are. Sometimes it is human. Others, alas, it is hungry ghost. The hungry ghost seeks validity outside of themselves. Someone pinning for an individ or indifferent ex is a hungry ghost. Someone who arrives alone at 6:30 on Saturday night to a pub is probably a hungry ghost. Obsessive checking of mobile phones, chat sites, or networks are clear signs that one is a hungry ghost. The best thing to do is stay home and write it out, read a book, find some good clean fun.
Good, clean fun.
I don't think I understand at all what that
Me
means,
either.
other than if you're basically,
If you're alone and going to pubs really late, you're a hungry
yeah,
ghost.
that's the only thing that made sense to me of like where I could fall. I don't do things alone in public. Wait,
I
do I?
do.
What? I wouldn't go to a movie by myself.
Why?
I don't know because I said so.
Why?
I don't know
That's like the
because
best
I'm not a
thing.
hungry
Like
ghost.
a self date is the best thing.
I call that watch YouTube with your cat.
I don't want to watch YouTube with new shit. I want to watch the movie in the cinema, in the theater, because cinematic adventures are important.
There goes my dog. You want to say hi to Luna? Luna, hey, hey, baby. I don't know if you can see her. Let me put her real close. Luna, can you hear
No. Well, yep.
her?
It's very
Oh
excited.
my god, she's gonna mess everything up. She gets really excited over nothing all the time.
Good.
She's cute though.
I am moving my microphone for a second.
Okay.
Okay, I moved
Nick's
it.
gonna have a good time with all this audio. Nick, I'm so
He's gonna
sorry.
have a good time with all this audio.
My,
Well, because it's
my
registering on
microphone
my
is having
end
a
as
hot.
like your headphones
Mm,
are what?
my microphone's just being stupid. It's saying that
Oh,
I'm really quiet.
mine is also,
It's fine.
and
All right.
it's turned up the whole way.
Okay. So,
So we have a
uh,
an
listen. All
urban.
I'm saying is, I just really like being able to communicate things that I'm experiencing to other people. Like if I go see a movie, I like to be able to then like debrief that movie with someone, especially because they're right there and they have experienced it. Like you're not going to be a spoiler person. You're not gonna, you know, go around to a whole bunch of people like, did you do this? And they're like, no. You just have a guarantee.
Self dates are
You know.
important. FYI. Doesn't make you a hungry ghost.
I.
You're also
Mm,
like exceptionally extroverted, so I feel like the idea of going to any type of event without another person there.
that sounds right. I don't know because COVID kind of ruined me.
Oh, I used to be extroverted and now I'm like I don't want to talk to anybody.
Yeah. I was gonna say I think it's because in the first uh I forget what it is. It's something like if you have a habit within 28 days if you don't do that habit, then you're likely to break that habit. I feel like there's something there that correlates to that of something like well, if you don't do an extroverted thing in 28 days, then you're probably going to slowly fall in that binary closer to introverted. And we have a whole year of it.
Yeah, that's fair. I have so many beverages.
I don't know. Tea. Okay, so talk to me about this blue and this purple tea. What is this?
So it's butterfly petal or no, butterfly flower tea, butterfly pea flower tea. And it literally turns your tea blue. And then if you add lemon to
Uh
it,
huh.
the citrus will have a chemical reaction and turn it purple. It tastes
Okay.
terrible. Like it's not great. So I might try to like repurpose it to be dyes or like to use it for dyes. I don't really know.
Maybe you
I'm
can
gonna
mix it with other tea.
like take one flower and just drop it in.
Yeah. I don't know.
We'll
That's
see.
how that works.
Right? It was not good. And it was equally not good with honey and lemon.
Um, Sidebar.
Yes.
My friend just Snapchatted me, uh, and they sent a Snapchat of they're watching YouTube, and the YouTube channel thing said how dinosaurs helped build the pyramids, and the caption was, "This is where we're at with YouTube today," and I'm like, so, no.
That's why I don't
And the
want to
man
go.
also looked like Kit Harrington, like Game of Thrones Kit Harrington, not shaven
He's
SNL
in
in 2017 Kit Harrington.
he's in the new Marvel movie Eternals. He and Rob
Hmm.
Stark are in that movie together with Angelina Jolie
And Selma Hayek.
and Salma Hayek and Gemma. What is her last name? Gemma. Oh my gosh, I can't remember her last name.
Eh,
She was
it
in
is what it is. She has a name.
Gemma Chan. She was in Crazy Rich Asians.
Is the I didn't watch those movies. Is she the main woman?
No, I think
Oh,
there's
okay.
only one. Are there more?
Well, I know there's 3 books. That's I just assumed they made all of them into movies.
Not yet.
Oh, well, that was a bad assumption.
That's
Whoops.
okay.
Uh, so what's up? We spent 10 minutes talking about everything else.
Well, because we had to do a correction, so now we have articulates. We have an articulate corner. We have an urban corner because we haven't found a better name for that.
Oh, I hate that name.
The urban corner.
That
I
just
feel like,
sounds like I get really upset with my car. I have a 2016 Rav4, and I get really upset when it just seems to be that anything that's pop but is sung by someone of color, it just sorts under urban. I'm like, you're not
oh,
doing a good job here. Yeah, like
oh no.
specifically the weekend. I've noticed a lot comes up under urban, and I'm trying to think if there's someone else. I'd have to go through my laundry list of artists and be like, "Do you come up as urban?" Yes. I
Okay,
don't
so
know if
like,
it's a Toyota thing. I don't know if it's like a deep rooted, like it's somewhere else that we're just gonna call that urban. But yep,
maybe the UD corner, Urban Dictionary. I don't have a better
that
name
sounds
for it
like
right now. It
what is
sounds
that
like a
called?
UTI.
Yeah, I was gonna say it sounds like ED, like erectile dysfunction. I'm just like,
This is the
well,
corner.
if you,
This is the corner of dysfunction.
I was gonna say it sounds like if you can't get it up, here's a funny word or phrase. Good luck. This isn't gonna help you at all.
Many corners.
All right. So what's up with you, lady?
What is up with me? It was a really rainy weekend. I was on call. So nothing crazy happened. Yeah, I don't. I'm trying to think.
Mm-hmm.
Like my weekend was so boring that like I can tell that I have not slept a lot and have been so stressed out because I literally went to bed and then in the middle of the day, around the same time over my extended weekend, would take random naps varying in times of 3 hours to 1 hour. So I'm doing
Hmm.
great. But I think it's just like the amount because this past week I wrapped up everything on the other campus that I was working on. So I'm done. I'm done with doing work on the other campus, and I think that was just part of like the stuff happening of just being like stressed out and
Yeah.
that anger that I talked about like an episode or two ago, where like that just kind of fuels you, and it fueled me to the end to get stuff done, and then I acknowledged it, and then I was like, I need to sleep. I need all the sleep. So that's what I did. I did some makeup and outfit stuff around because I have this habit of taking my favorite really outlandish characters and trying to make outfits inspired on their appearance or their colors, like
Hmm.
their color palette. And so I did that this weekend with Hawks from My Hero Academia, and then I got another wig that was also
You and these
inspired by. I
wigs.
have so many wigs now. I got another wig that was inspired by another My Hero Academia character, but as I was playing with it, it slowly evolved into me being a vampire hunter and then like having an origin story around that, and then I put a different wig on and I became Lady Loki. So like there's a lot in like weird cosplay world that's not cosplay yet, of me just like trying to figure stuff out and just like finding other creative outlets because that's what I need. And then I started a book, and that's it. I'm not very exciting. I slept a lot because I needed to. I did a lot of nerdy things. I was outside a good bout. I was outside a good bit with my dog. That's it.
All right. So we just had to come back from all the things just stopping and not working. But what I do remember is I wanted to talk about the fact that this entire time that you were building your little characters and doing all these outfits, you were Snapchatting Courtney and I, being like, "Look at this. What about this? Tell me about this." And me, on the other hand, was at a picnic, and all I'm doing is I'm I'm on my phone and I'm seeing it, and then I just stop seeing it and I go like this, and I'm just listening the entire time, and then I look again, and then I'm like listening like this, and everyone's like, "Is everything okay?" And I'm just like, "1 second, hold on," and
One second,
I'm
hold
just
on.
like trying to quickly respond with like, "Oh yeah, everything, this is good. I like this." Um, I didn't necessarily first. I get where you were going with Loki, um, but I also was like, it's still to me it's just a green wig, that it could be
It's
anything.
it could be anything. It's
I
also
know it's
like
Shigo,
yeah,
but it's a green wig.
it's a black and green wig.
Also, I don't think I talked about this at all. Never mind. Nope, Nick cut that.
What are you not talking about?
Well, I'll save it for when we talk about my stuff.
Okay, we'll talk about your stuff. My stuff is done. I am a
Oh,
boring hoe.
well, when
My
you say it like that,
my hot girl summer consisted of me getting extra naps.
okay. Well, I'm not mad at that. That's what you need to do.
Yeah. Also,
Um,
happy Pride.
it is Pride, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, so now all of the businesses are gonna. Luna's back. There she goes. Um, yeah. So if you haven't noticed, I am now in a different place. I am at my mother's house. You can probably hear the birds because they're loud. Luna's loud. Everyone's loud. No, I'm
There
just
goes
kidding.
Luna.
There she goes. Hey, hi, baby. All right, all right. So, yeah, I've been been moving into my mom's house and my stepdad's house, and it's been whatever. It's just waiting for my call to be like, hey, work for us, and I'm like, okay.
Here I come.
Yep. Um, one place that I was very far through their hiring process. They were like, we're just waiting on HR, which could mean they're waiting on their top applicant. Could be or could not be me for HR reasons, and that's it. So we'll see. I applied to a lot of jobs. I did a lot of today specifically. I was doing a lot of landscaping with my mom, doing a lot of planting of plants and uh, more planting of plants. Um, we've always had some type of garden growing up, and specifically, I just remember the amount of tomatoes we would always have is a lot, and I don't like tomatoes, or at least I didn't before. Um, but now I do to a certain extent. So, uh, been doing a lot of that, and it was very hard to say goodbye to all the peoples that I worked with at my previous institution in terms of the people that I supervised. Um, I had to do it before, but I just think this was a little bit harder because it wasn't on my terms. So,
Yeah.
yeah. But no, I'm here. My cat's happy. I'm cat happy.
You
I
got
don't know.
Luna.
No, she's. We'll have a Luna
Insert
corner.
heavy breathing.
No, no. We'll have a Luna corner. There she comes again. There she goes. There's just a lot of sound. I'm usually in the basement, and there's just not good lighting. So we're gonna experience the outside world today. So hello to the birds. Hello to everything else that makes a lot of noise, especially a certain dog.
We're now just a soundtrack channel. We went
I know.
from being ASMR to just soundtracks.
I'm not
You
mad
want
at it.
sounds? We got them.
We'll just have to be the next Tarzan animated movie soundtrack that Phil Collins he didn't have to give us all that, and he chose to.
He did. He did the damn
Mm-hmm.
thing.
Yeah. But that's it. That's where I'm at.
We're not very exciting people this week,
Oh,
and that's okay.
I mean, I was gonna say it wasn't exciting actually. Um, I now take up like a significant portion of a garage because now another dog's here.
Is it Log?
No, it's Toby, Chihuahua
Aw.
that's like this big. No, Log is really quiet. Yes, by the way, Log the dog is one of the dogs. Isn't that great? It's a great name. Um,
Log the dog.
all right, so what I have, because I think your topic was like the entire duration of our last podcast.
Wait, you said you were gonna talk about something. You started to talk about it, and then you were like, "No, I'll wait until my turn." And I said, "Okay, well now it's your turn."
Yeah, I don't remember what that was.
Ah,
Are you surprised?
I want to know.
Well, do you know what it was about?
No, how would I know what it was about?
I don't know.
You were like, I thought about this, and then you were just like, "Nope, it's my secret forever."
Well, it's not a secret as compared to I don't remember what it was.
Oysters.
We can't just play that game right now.
We can. Maybe we will, or maybe we won't.
This
All
is
right.
gonna bother me now that I don't remember what it is, but it doesn't matter. So
Okay.
your topic last week was, I think we basically talked about that and only that because of how long it went.
Oh, because we talked about Hot Girl
Hot Girl
Summer,
Summer. Hot
which
Girl
ended
Summer.
up turning into Cold Lady Winter and
Mm-hmm.
Hot Moose, and the difference between
Moose.
all the moose. And then you
Listen,
buying a romp him.
Moose is he's great, but he has been keeping me up at night and waking me up almost every hour for the past 2 nights, and I'm like, we can't do this. Like, this is not how our relationship works.
Moose, that's disrespectful.
I know. So sleep has been poopy, and I'm just like, my guy,
Mm.
let's work on this.
I hope you
Okay.
get to take a 3 hour nap at some point in time.
Well, thank you. I hope so too. Maybe not today, but not today, but maybe. We'll see. All right. So this or that questions is kind of where I was going. I thought that was going to be something interesting.
Okay.
So,
Is this like the trolley problem?
no,
Okay,
not at all,
good.
actually.
Thank God.
I don't want to do that. No. So this one apparently is super political, but dog or cat?
Ugh.
Mm-hmm.
Do I have to pick one?
So the way I see it, hold on.
Bless you.
Thank you. Gross faces. The way I see it is, for me, I'm like a 10 out of 10 cat person and a 9 out of 10 dog person. Like, I just like pets. Um, and people get really upset when I say that I like cats more, but they don't realize the sheer difference there is.
Yeah. I'm an all animal person.
Mm-hmm.
Hold on, my computer just said something wacky. Figure it out. Go back. Okay. Just fighting with technology. Yeah, I feel like I'm an all animal kind of person because like I get excited about all the animals. If I could have a cat and a dog, I would. If I wasn't afraid that Storm would try to like eat, I would have a
I,
cat.
I'm so sorry. I paused us. Instead of trying to mute myself, I paused us. No, you're good. You're good. Can you just say that last sentence again? Sorry, Nick.
Oh,
Nick, I'm so sorry.
sweet Nick. You gonna sneeze again?
No.
Okay. No, if I could have a cat, I would. If I wasn't afraid that Storm would try to like eat the cat, then I would get another cat. But right now, I have a puppy, and she's crazy, and she's sleeping. And sometimes I also want to sell her because she's a lot of work. I love her dearly, but like I could sell you.
I'm just dying out here. I've never had allergies in my life. And now here I am. Just, I don't know what's happening. Okay. We're just going to power through. Okay,
So yeah,
these
I
are
don't know
weird.
if I'm a cat or dog person. I feel like I'm an equal opportunity animal person.
This
Not a
is a
fan of bugs, but
true. I don't like bugs either. So I think this is a good one. Ice cream cone or snow cone?
ice cream cone.
See, ooh, snow
Twist with
cone.
sprinkles is my go-to.
But have you had shaved ice?
Yes, and I'm not. It's not that big of a deal to me.
Are you an ice person?
You care to elaborate?
Like I will chew ice the
No,
till the
there's
sun comes
certain
up.
ice that I would chew.
No, I'll chew it all.
Like Sonic, and Sonic Ice is by far superior
To all, yes, to all
to all
ices.
ice.
Yes.
And then a close runner-up would be Chick-fil-A Ice.
Okay.
But Sonic Ice is the most superior ice.
So you only do bougie ice.
Yeah. I'm not like I
Really?
so I have really sensitive teeth too.
Oh,
So the enjoyment of like biting into ice and then having it get stuck on my lower lip and be pressed against my tiny little bottom teeth,
yeah.
and then they're all screaming because they're like, "Oh, it hurts." Is not a fun time for me.
I'm
Yeah.
I'm trying so hard to not be like nasally gross. I'm just like
Okay,
just
Cody,
ignore me
Cody's secretly
as I
crying.
have as I have a midlife crisis. Um, I am having a midlife crisis. I've never had allergies before.
Cody's secretly crying. You're gonna turn 25
Oh my! Well, why would you?
soon.
Why would you bring that up?
I'm gonna
You
turn
didn't. You didn't
30
have to.
eventually.
Yeah, that's a you problem. We're talking about a me problem right now. You've gone through those barriers before. This is a new barrier. Okay.
You'll be okay. I believe in you.
I
You're a
was having
strong,
a
independent
conversation.
woman. You don't need no man.
Okay. Um, I had a conversation with my sister on what mid means in terms of your like decades of life. So like your mid 20s, what characterizes a mid 20s, a mid 30s, that type of thing. And so
Okay.
I told her she thought that your mid 20s or your mid whatever's, but we're both in our 20s. So your mid 20s start at 25. And I was explaining to her, I'm like, well, if you think about it in terms of like in thirds, it really should be 20 through 23, 24 through 27, and then 28 or 24 through 26, 27, 28, 29 is your later 20s. I don't know why
Your
I'm
later
confusing all
40s.
these things. I'm doing it really bad. Well, we were bringing this in conversation to my mom as well. And I was telling her, I'm like, Kelsey, like, mom's 44, so realistically, she's in her mid 40s. And she's like, no, that doesn't start till 45 because that's midway. But that doesn't make sense when you think of early, mid, and late.
Well, because 45 would just be, you would be your mid 40s at 45, and then that's
Right,
it.
right. So then you should take one from each side and count that as the mid. You know what I mean?
I see what you're saying. That makes sense.
And then Kelsey's just like, no, it's fine. She
I'm
will
in
be
my late 20s.
26. So she's like, I don't want to be at the end of my middle 20s. And I'm like, you already are engaged. You have a job. You have children. In terms of what children, in term like when you're 16, 17, 18, what you think of success is, you've technically hit all of the marks for what you wanted by 25 anyway.
Yes. Your
So like
sister,
knock it off.
yeah, your sister is more, if you think about those standards, is more
Mhm.
progressive than I am.
Mhm.
Like, and she's younger than I am.
I know. And I'm just like, get out of here.
I did recently think about what it's like to be single for a long period of time and how
I'll let you
that
know.
just like I also can let you know. Um but how that like impacts how you think about things and like your expectations of people, because I think I have oddly high expectations of people right now, but I only think
Ooh.
it's because of no. It's not because of like specific things, but I joke around that I have high expectations because I will never find a man who has a metal arm like Bucky Barnes.
Oh my god. I'm already done with this conversation.
And that was the joke I told my friend last night. I was like, yeah, I have ridiculously high standards for men now. None of them will have a metal arm, have wings, and might be
I'm
an
done with you.
expert source.
I'm done with you.
You're welcome. I just needed to provide that comedic relief. But no, I think it's important to like, I think as single people, it's good to have expectations. And I think it's also like, I don't think expectations can be limited to high or low or in the middle, because they're just your expectations of people and how you want to be treated. And you learn how you want to be treated from
Yeah.
experience or from being independent for so long. I didn't mean to go off on like a date talk
I
conversation
know.
really quick.
I was like, so you're gonna go with ice cream cone? That's what you're landing on?
I'm going with ice cream cone.
So you're going with ice cream cone. Okay. Um so while so while walking, music or podcasts?
I do both. An audiobook.
So the game is called this or
I
that.
I know.
So, knowing that you pick one, you usually don't throw a third option into there and say that's the one I want. You usually pick one of the two options. So music or podcast.
Podcast.
So I would not have agreed with you until recently because I
Okay.
always listen to music and then I you know I had a podcast and then I was like, well, I guess I should listen to podcasts. And then you were like, well, yeah, you really should listen to all these podcasts. And then you were like, we should have a podcast. And then we did a podcast. And I was like, well, maybe I should really listen to a lot more podcasts. So, end of the day,
I feel like you give me way too much credit about being like, Erica said we should have a podcast. I literally, you looked at me the one day and were like, you didn't look at me. You verbalized it over the phone on one
oh,
of our 3 hour conversations where you're like, we should have a podcast. And I was like, what would we talk about? And you're like, I don't know. And I was like, we could call it Father and Son.
no matter how many times you correct me, I'm still going to have this perspective in my head of what I told you.
It was still you.
I'm just saying. I can't rewrite my brain. My brain it's fixed now.
Okay.
So it's still your fault that we're here
You had
at
a
the end of the
podcast first and then asked me to be on your podcast. And because we had fun with that one, asked me to be a part of another podcast with you.
I think someone's calling me. I'm gonna have to leave because I'm being called as compared to being called out on here. Uh, listen, I'm just glad we're here. Now, what was the question? Where was I going? What are we? Oh,
This or
yes.
that.
So
Music or
so
pods.
podcast. Yeah, I think like I know that my 4 hour drive from my mother's house to where I previously was at, you know, I actually listened to true crime podcasts that entire time, and it was just nice to have something different. And then when they're like, her legs were cut off, her arms were cut off, and I'm just like, oh, you just see me driving down 80, just completely stoic, just like, yeah,
And her
yeah, that
legs were
happened.
cut off and her arms were cut off.
Her legs were cut off, her arms were cut off, her ears were cut off, her tongue was cut off, and I'm like, oh my god.
Her eyes were gouged out.
I love that audio from TikTok. It's so funny.
It
All
makes me
right,
laugh. Okay.
I'm going down.
Oh.
There's a lot of these are weird.
Good.
Hamburger or taco?
Taco.
Yes, 100%. Oh,
I didn't even have
there's
to think
these.
about that.
I know, mainly because Taco Bell's my favorite.
I might get Taco
That's
Bell for
actually not
dinner.
true. Why would you say something like that to me? One thing I will say is there was this place. It was called Loggerheads, and they had these Cajun shrimp or shrimp Cajun tacos, whatever
Ooh.
order the words were. And my lord, they were
Ooh.
so basic, but they were so good. And when I think of tacos, I'm just like, I want those again.
Yes.
Mm,
When I think of
mm,
tacos, I miss Texas. Like
mm.
Tex-Mex,
Right.
hole in the wall. You drive up to a random place and there's this hole in the wall restaurant and it is delicious. That's what I think about when I think about tacos, where I'm like, this was amazing. I would go back.
So
I
Coke or
also
Pepsi?
um well, I don't drink soda.
No third options.
I don't drink soda.
Coke. There we go. Good job for you.
Okay. I would also support Coke. That sounds
Yeah.
bad. It sounds like I'm just talking about drugs now. Like if somebody came into a weird part of this podcast and they were like, "Oh, Erica would support Coke."
All right. So this is dumb,
Wait,
but
wait,
I feel like,
hold on. Hold on. I have to pee.
oh well, then I need to pause. So before we wrap up some of these this or that's, I just wanted to read you some of these that I saw that I'm just like, oh. Um. So I'm on Reddit and looked up some interview. This person asked for most controversial this or that questions for an interview, and I just want to read. We're not going to answer them, but I just want to read some of them. So, which immediate family member would you have violent sex with if you had to choose? And I'm just like, oh. Next, there's Obamacare or Nazis. Just like,
What?
oh my god. There's um, was that basically the ones I was like, yep, this is it, this is it. Well, it also says Hawaiian pizza or real pizza, and I don't like that people are saying that pineapple on pizza is not real, because
It
my
is
god,
real.
that's so good. I love Hawaiian
It's so
pizza.
good.
Well, I'm
I
glad
have
that's where we
started.
land with things.
Yeah,
We're a pro Hawaiian pizza.
for pro Hawaiian pizza. I have recently had because I don't do pork. I don't do red meat or pork. So I've had uh
Hmm.
pineapple that was I just had a moment. I had pineapple on pizza, but I add chicken and jalapenos to it, and it is
Uh-huh.
delicious. Oh,
Okay, interesting.
we're pro Hawaiian pizza.
I am pro Hawaiian pizza. Now, I don't know what I'm gonna say.
Okay, good.
I'm just falling apart. Um, this is just raw, unfiltered, and totally chaotic.
I feel like yes.
Oh my gosh. I'm just making all the noise and doing all the things. Stop it.
I I started to pick up random things around me to play with them because I'm just my brain is everywhere.
No, I'm just whatever. It's fine. Everything's fine.
We're doing
Everything's always
great.
fine. I know
We're doing great.
this table's wobbly.
Earthquake.
Oh my gosh, I'm dead. All right. So what do you have
Wait,
for
wait,
us?
wait. Do it again. Do it again. Do it again. Do it again. Ah!
Oh my gosh.
It's like a roller coaster.
Oh my gosh.
Sorry
You're just gonna hurt
for
everyone's ears.
yeah for non video folks. I just basically threw my hands in the air twice. There was
Yes.
not really a distinct difference between earthquake and roller coaster.
You were just really being that floppy guy that's outside of car dealerships. That's like, hey,
I
what's going on?
I am what? The wacky inflatable tube man.
There we
Uh,
go. Yep, that's what he's called. I
that
love
is
that.
what he's called. I need to go away.
Oh,
um,
okay.
okay, bye.
Okay, I guess I'll see you next week.
I can't get
Oh,
my
where'd
shoulder
she go?
out of
Where'd
the
you go?
frame.
I guess I'm
I'm
just gonna do
back.
this by myself. Oh, shoot. Oh, God.
Surprise. I can also leave too if you just want to have an intimate moment by yourself with the audience.
No. With your fans?
My OnlyFans.
No? Oh my gosh.
I don't have an OnlyFans, everybody. I just we need to put that out there.
Only Erica.
Only Erica.
Your OnlyFans that has only you on it.
Only me.
As in you're the only subscriber too. You're the person and the only subscriber. You're paying
I'm
yourself
paying
monthly.
myself.
Yeah. Do you know people that have an
That's
OnlyFans?
nah, if I do, they don't talk about it.
Mm.
Don't
Okay.
you know somebody?
Mm-hmm. Multiple people. Excuse me as I crush my water bottle for audio purposes. Um, so
ASMR, I get it.
it's fine. Yeah, someone I went to high school with, she started one, and apparently she's making a butt ton of money. She's in the top 3% of OnlyFans people, like the makers.
Oh wow.
And I'm just like, oh, interesting. And then someone that is in uh, so in my fraternity, his friend group from high school, there was a guy that's there, and he had an OnlyFans, because I guess one of his, from my understanding of the story, is I guess maybe one of his like nudes got out there. I don't know, and then he was like, well, I'm just gonna publish it anyway since it was like people have seen it, and so he did an OnlyFans, and he is, from my understanding, straight in a straight relationship, and he was like, well, it turns out that most of the people that subscribe to me are gay, so they specifically ask for pictures of my butthole. And I'm like, what's happening? Why are we in this conversation right
They
now?
specifically asked for pictures of my butthole.
Yeah, and I'm just like, what's happening right now? How did we get here? Do I even know your name? No. Uh, we've met multiple times. He's a good guy. But he ended up closing it not too long ago. But in 6 months, I think he said he made $600.
Okay.
Which I'm like, if that's a side hustle and you need some dollars and you're willing to put in the work, then all right, I guess.
Because it doesn't have to be nudes. Like, you don't have to be fully naked.
I'm gonna start an OnlyFans with just me saying like nice words, like "Hey, how's it going?" Not even like sexy talk, just like "Hey, how are
Hey,
you?
how's it going?
How's your life? Tell me about you."
You want some waffles?
That's I no, I would not say
Yeah.
that. I don't like.
Why?
I don't really eat waffles.
Waffles or pancakes?
Waffles.
You don't. That means you don't really eat pancakes either. What kind of anti-breakfast
I know.
person are you?
Listen, I actually had a whole conversation with my staff for my previous place about chicken and waffles. I'm used to having them with gravy as compared to syrup. And they were like, "What do you mean?" And I'm like, "Well, when do you ever really eat something for dinner that's like heavily sweetened? Usually sweet is like a breakfasty or like a brunchy type of, or a dessert, right? Like it's never really like your main part is sweet
I
for
think
dinner."
when I was in Texas, chicken and waffles was just like it was the gravy. Like they had gravy. I don't think it was
Yeah.
syrup.
I would appreciate gravy more. And then I said like that just makes sense to me. That doesn't matter about the waffle piece, but I'm just saying like I do enjoy waffles. I actually don't really like pancakes.
Okay.
And I don't know what it is. I think it might be like the baking soda in it, maybe. I don't know, but it has a more pronounced like that type of flavor, like a baking soda y flavor to me, and I just don't like it. I'll still eat them.
Yeah.
Like I'd still give them a solid like 5.5 out of 10.
Have you ever had grits?
Yes, I wasn't a big fan.
Okay, well then never mind. Because I was gonna ask you a this or that of like savory or sweet grits because that's pretty controversial.
I'd probably fall into the savory, I would
Me
assume.
too.
Just because sweet, I don't, I used to have such a big sweet tooth, and I feel like that's just gone now with age. Saying that I'm
You're,
implying that I'm old.
you're growing up so fast.
I know, but like I've noticed, like I used to love like chocolate in every form, and now I only eat dark chocolate, or like
I
I'd
love
prefer
dark
dark
chocolate.
chocolate. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like I've noticed that my preferences have fallen out of sweet and into like the other options.
yeah, that
Yeah.
makes sense.
Like I even prefer like pumpkin pie. I would prefer pumpkin cheesecake for that like tarty, like funky cheesecake flavor as compared to just straight pumpkin and sugar. You know what I mean?
I'm not a pie person, but yes.
So, and I would prefer things like, well, I do eat a lot of apple pie, and that's because I make my own. But I think I don't use like, now that I think about it, I don't use Granny Smith because of the sour. Like I also kind of shy away from super sour.
Oh, I love super sour. Love
Yeah,
super
I don't know what's wrong with me. I'm not doing all right.
I mean, stuff
Midlife
changes.
crisis in my mid 20s.
Yeah, your stuff changes. That's okay. You can have an existential crisis right now. It's all right. I'll support you through it.
Is that what we're calling this? Midlife crisis in my mid 20s?
I would just say that you're having a little bit of an existential crisis because there's a lost feeling of like who you are and what you believe in.
I believe in tie dye shirts for the 4th of July that have been told to me that I should wear for Memorial Day. And I was like, what are you talking about? Uh, and then
Good.
I totally forgot the purpose of Memorial Day because that was the last thing on my mind. I didn't even know yesterday was a holiday.
Good.
I was like, what do you mean these places aren't open? And my mom's like, it's Memorial Day. And I'm like, oh,
You're like, that makes
true.
sense.
Yeah. I'm totally owning my bad person moment that I had yesterday where I'm just like, I,
Whoops.
yeah. I mean, I'm not going to lie to you. I probably could wake up and it could be December 25th and I'd be like, oh, it's Christmas. I wasn't even paying attention.
Because, like, life is happening.
Well, I was going to say also COVID just completely ruined everything with time and dates and days of the week. Every
COVID
day
did
is
ruin a
Monday,
lot.
you know?
Every day is fun.
It's fine. Everything's fine.
And on that note, we'll
What do
leave
you
you
have?
with every day is Monday. Because I think we're done with this or that's.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, is that it? We're done?
I don't know, are we?
I don't know. I feel so bad for everyone. I love you all. I'm so sorry that you have to listen to all this nonsensical shenanigans that is the way our brains function.
She-nans.
That's your
She-nans
response
and
to that?
he-nans.
Just mispronouncing shenanigans, shortening it instead of offering content? Got it. Got it. No, I understand. I understand. Just
Well, what else do
appreciate
you want me to
the luminance
give to
off
you
of.
right now?
That's what she said.
Listen, you said you were going down earlier, and I almost snorted tea through my nose.
We're going down, down in another round. Is that the lyrics?
Sugar, we're going down swinging.
Are we going to be copyrighted for saying the lyrics to that song? But also, we need to because we need to celebrate that part of Fall Out Boy.
Yeah, it's a good part of Fall Out Boy.
Okay, final note. I was listening to Summer Hits of the 2000s, which is commonly known from Pandora as a radio station, right? And that's like probably the most prominent one, I would assume.
Okay.
Well, I have Apple Music, and so I put Summer Hits of the 2000s, meaning that someone somewhere created a playlist called Summer Hits of the 2000s where they manually put songs in.
Uh
And
huh.
the entire time, I don't know what I was expecting to hear, like, like your famous bubblegum pop songs like California Girls, or you know what I mean, like those type of like actual summer hits.
Yeah.
But no, I got a collection of like um I'm in love with a stripper and like weird out there, like this is not something that you hear when you go to the public pool. You know what I mean? Like You
When
know
you
what I
get
mean?
trapped in the closet.
I got a lot of like not second hand, like I guess next step Beyonce songs. Like I would say
Like,
like, like the essentials, what the next steps would be that you don't necessarily hear. Like I got a lot of that and I'm like,
so you got R&B basically, and like high school dance.
not even high school dance.
Oh,
It was just weird out there, not summer hits of the 2000s.
interesting.
And I was like, okay, here I am. And so there I was gardening with my mom, listening to I'm in Love with a Stripper. Yep. Yep. And I'm
Beautiful.
like,
You could be
I,
in love
I
with a
literally,
stripper.
I forget what I said to my mom. It was something like, you know, it was something like, that's the problem with strippers in the summer is you don't know if they're sweating because of how hard they're working or if it's just because it's hot out. And that was, that was it. And my
Oh
mom
my
was like,
god.
I have no comment.
Good.
Yeah.
I'm glad she didn't feed into that nonsense.
Listen, I didn't want to be planting plants and she was making me planting plants. So she has to deal with me talking about strippers, okay?
And that's just it.
And that's it. I blame nobody but the person who made the playlist. We can blame Nick. Nick, it's all your fault.
Oh, Nick.
No, Nick, it's all your fault.
Poor Nick.
I told them you call him Nickel Pickle.
I do call him Nickel Pickle.
All right.
Does he say anything to that?
I don't know.
Insert your reaction, Nick, if you want
Oh
to.
my gosh. All right. Well, thank you all so much for listening. You can find us on all the places that you pod, including Apple Podcasts and Stitcher and all the other places. And you can find us on the YouTube. You can follow us on Instagram at Unarticulate Podcast, one word. That's it. And we also
Because
have
we've
our
started
own.
posting again.
I know it's all Erica's fault that we're posting again. Don't give me any credit. And we also have our own social medias that you can follow us on. Thank you all so much for listening, and have a great rest of your day. Bye bye.
Hey!
I'm just gonna wave. Bye bye.